Hi, your face isn't aging, it's in survival mode. If you're clenching at your jaw, you're scrunching at your face, pulling everything forward, creating those fine lines and wrinkles. Well, in today's video, we are going to do some really great fascia work to really help release all that tension around the face by really adding some structural buoyancy to the face, making it more youthful and not sagging so much. Also help with calming down the nervous system. Hi, I'm Ali and a warm welcome to Ali the Fascia Lift Method. So first things first, I like to sit down with my feet firmly on the ground. If you're standing, that's fine too. And you want to make sure that you're nice and straight and in alignment, so we're not hunching over and shortening the neck. So making sure you're nice and straight and your ear is in line with your shoulder as well, and pretending that there's almost a piece of string coming all the way from your head all the way to the ceiling. This again will really help calming everything down and just adding more oxygen to the neck and the head area. Making sure that you've got clean fingers, also very obviously clean skin. I like to then use a little bit of facial oil. Now, I like to use something from my own brand, but Kingship Skin. But if you have your own face cream or face oil, that's fine too. Just something so we've got a slip and glide and you're not compromising the skin by dragging or pulling at it. So just a couple of drops to the fingers, warming it through. And then just gently apply all along the forehead area, side of the ears, and down either side of the neck here, down that SEM to the collarbone. So starting off with the pads of our fingers, where our collarbone is, just above here, you can see some indentations. And if you can just give those a few gentle presses. Now, what this is doing is really opening up the gateways for lymphatic drainage and to release all those toxins and waste from the head and the neck area. So let's start on our depressor muscle here, either side of the mouth. Now this muscle has almost connection to at least another 9 muscles on the lower part of the face, and if this gets tight, it draws everything down: a droopy mouth, smile lines, nasal labial folds and marionette lines. So you want to release this. So let's just do one side at a time. So we're going to take our tongue and we're going to place it about 1 centimetre from the corner of the mouth. Taking the hook of our finger, we're then going to be doing some really lovely round circular motions one way, then the other. By doing this, we're really helping release any tightness which may have gone into like a ball around the depressor muscle here, to really help release and lift everything up. So let's do this now, taking the tongue to around about 1 centimetre past that point of the lip here. And then the other way. And release, and then on the other side, taking the lip to about 1 centimetre past the lip, the drooping part of the mouth, if you like, at the end, taking our finger into a hook, and then round circular motions one way and another, really releasing any tightness of fascia in this pocket here. And it almost does feel like a bit of a ball, so you can actually release this. And then let's go in the opposite direction. and release. Now, when I'm doing these fascia movements, I really like to do what I call some really good deep belly breathing, in through the nose for 4 and out through the nose for 6. Again, helping with maximum blood flow and circulation, and also really help hydrating the fascia. So once we've done our depressor muscle, let's work on a real tight point when we clench our teeth, perhaps at night time when we're stressed as well. We can actually clench and you end up with this TMJ, maybe slightly out of alignment as well with the jaw. So let's do some really great fascia work on these points. Again, I'm going to do one at a time here because these are quite strong points of the masseter muscle here, one of the strongest muscles in the body. So taking the hook of our finger again, if you can come to where the cheekbone is, come down, and if you can't find it, this sort of soft point, if you can just clench your teeth just above, you should be able to find a point here. So taking the hook, coming across here, almost where the cheekbone is, to that masseter muscle and the ear, just gently melting in with the finger onto the bone, and then just very gently massage in a round circular motion. Now what we're doing here is a really great massage, fascia massage, and we're actually ungluing any stuck fascia to the bone. If we hold on to tight tension, it can sometimes get quite glued onto the bone, and by taking it away slightly, by unsticking it, we're actually creating more space for oxygens, nutrients, blood flow, and again, detoxification. Making sure everything's nice and relaxed. And we're doing a lovely breathing in for 4 and out for 6. Nice and relaxed. If it's a little bit too tender, you can always release slightly the pressure of your knuckle here. And then let's work in the other direction. Oh, I get quite tight jawline, so actually it's quite nice to spend a bit more time on this. And if you want to spend more time on a certain area, if you've got more problems on one side or the other, feel free to do so. This is a really great fascia decompression. And you may want to move around slightly if you can find other points as well which feel a little bit tight around this area of the masseter muscle. And gently release. And let's work on the other side now. So taking our finger into a hook, and I'm going to start from the the cheek, if I can come down here and show you more, and then where the ear is to where that masseter muscle starts here. And I like to start sort of in the middle, just gently melt into the skin onto the bone. And then gently work in a round circular motion. Again, light to medium touch, but if it is too painful and a bit too much, just ease off with the pressure. I actually find this actually really lovely and relaxing. Again, relaxing everything, making sure you're nice and straight and in alignment as well. And we hold a lot of tension in the face. And again, this actually makes the fascia tight and brings everything forward, as well as sticking to the bone with fascia glue. And again, you can work a little bit further down if you feel you need to move your finger slightly. But again, we're not stretching at the skin or dragging or pulling. And let's go in the opposite direction now. And because we've applied lovely facial oil, it's actually going to penetrate in nice and deeply as well. And gently release. And then we're going to come to our temple area. Again, we hold a lot of pressure in the temples, scrunching everything. And actually, if we can release this, this will help any headiness headaches, any tension headaches, and even some tension around the forehead and the top of the eyebrow area. So taking our fingers, gently place onto our temples and just melt the fingers in. And then just a little bit lighter this time. Lovely round circular motion one way. Some lovely breathing in through the nose for 4, out through the nose for 6. And in the opposite direction. Now, I like to do these 3 or 4 times a week, obviously depending how stressed you are and how tight you are on your fascia. So you can do these every evening or the morning. I quite like to do these in the evening because it really sets you up and relaxes you, ready for a good night's sleep. And then just gently release this. So now we're going to be working on the cranial shield. When we have tight fascia on the cranial shield, if you like, on top of the head, on the scalp, it pulls and drags everything down. And so you want to really lift this up and really loosen everything here. This will help for forehead, eye wrinkles, as well as those frown lines and wrinkles and sort of feeling heavy on the eyebrow area. So taking our little finger, placing it onto the hairline, fingers onto the scalp, and just gently press in with the pads of the fingers onto your scalp area here. And gently breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 6, and just gently move your forehead or your fingers on your forehead in a round circular motion. One way. And then the other way. Releasing any tight tension in this area. And then you can move along a bit further along as well, other parts of the head, placing the fingers, gently melting into the scalp, onto the bone, and then round circular motion, just creating space between the bone and the scalp, the skin, unsticking any tight fascia here. Now this fascia, if I haven't explained before, is a structural connective tissue throughout the whole of the body. You release that to really help lift everything up and become slightly more looser as well within the facial area as well as the body. And then placing our thumb where the hairline is, just from the neck and the head, fingers a bit further behind now, and again melt in with the fingers, with the pads of the fingers, and then a round circular motion one way. This is great, particularly if you have headaches as well. Again, gently breathe in for 4 and out for 6. And then just work in the opposite direction. And then just gently release. So now we're taking our fingers and we're now interconnecting them onto our forehead, and just very, very gently, lightly work downwards from the middle of the forehead towards the temples. And what we're doing here is moving toxins and waste, which is also very close to the surface of the skin, with the lymph. And then with the ring finger under the eye, so we have a lighter touch towards the temple. Now I do have a product line from Kingship Skin, if you'd like to check that out in my descriptions. And I also am doing, it's almost a bit of a blog, more in-depth writing on Substack, if you'd like to join me there, which is also free as well, if you'd like to check that out. And then just coming from the chin all the way up and across. Also, please comment down below, tell me how you found this today, and if there's any other fascia techniques you'd love me to share with you. And then thumb placed under the chin, fingers above, just gliding out. Now I've been doing I've been a facialist for the last 8 years, and I have been doing fascia work for the last 5-6 years, and also face massage and facial yoga and exercises. I've never used any Botox, never had any fillers. The only thing I do is just do, as I say, massaging the face and a little bit of red light therapy, which I kind of enjoy as well. So I might do some more videos on that as well. Again, improving collagen and elastin, particularly as we're getting older and we starts to deplete. So fingers in front of the ears where we have plenty of lymph nodes, and behind the ears where we have plenty of lymph nodes. And then taking the fingers, just to work with the fingers in a light round circular motion along the occipital bone. So basically from the ear, bottom of the head, top of the neck, and just work really lightly. Okay, I've got lymph nodes here. And then when the fingers are touching with one hand at a time, if you can just gently glide down the big SCM muscle down to the collarbone. I always want to swallow when I'm doing this. You can literally feel things moving along. And then on the other side. And then from the chin all the way down, I always like to finish off with what we started off with here, which is taking the pads of the fingers just above the collarbone. We've got those indentations. And if you can just give those a few gentle presses, this will release all the toxins and waste we've moved within the facial area into the body, ready for elimination. Now, I would highly recommend a nice glass of warm water afterwards to really hydrate the fascia and also to help with detoxification from the neck and the facial area. And again, if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing, and please comment down below, tell me how you found this today. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye.